That one big dip in April, I don't know what was going on, but it didn't, that's not a trend. It only happened 1 month. This is kind of a side trend. Well, 2023 is over, and it's time to go over to December 2023 eBay standard envelope scans analysis. And you're going to be able to see the whole year that I did one of these videos every month, and I tracked 100 random mailings every month, January to December, and how they did. eBay was over 90% in all 4 scan errors in December. I only had 1 no scan. That's one of the best months we've had in the last 6, I think, in the heaviest mail time of the year, and they done better than they did before. So that's a good sign. Hopefully it'll continue in 2024. Main reason that I track this is because when scans don't occur, it causes more work. I did a video about this. It's right here. Where's my postcard? So customers don't see it moving. They says delivered, they don't know where it's at, or it never got delivered. Stuff like that. It causes us more work when scans don't occur. So I hold the line about 90%. Anything under 90% seems to cause more work for us. It should be 100% all the time. These are machines talking to each other. There's no reason, in my eyes, why the breakdown on the consistency of no scans. Now we're going to walk through the details in a minute of the month, and then we can see the whole year. But before that, I'm going to show you a little clip I've been put out in these videos. If you're new, you haven't seen before, it's just a real high level, in a nutshell, of how it kind of works. There's probably more to it than I'm saying here, but it gives you an idea of the moving pieces that could be involved with the scan and reporting on eBay. Now I left Etsy in during this clip because I used to sell on Etsy, and Etsy has a way to use the eBay standard envelope type thing. It's called letter tracking. Etsy letter tracking is what I called it. And they use the same label, and Macari, I think, is doing the same thing. LetterTrack has been using this for years. It's not just eBay that came up with this. It's a tool provided by the post office to put a barcode on the label, so marketing people that send out mass marketing can get some kind of reports on what's being delivered and not, probably. That's what let me go ahead and show you this clip, and then we'll get back. We'll talk about the numbers. Here is a slide I'm going to bring up on the big screen. This is just the process in my head on there, not real detailed, layman terms. I don't know how everything works with this. I can speculate from my IT background, my technical background, but there are so many different ways to do it. But in a nutshell, this should explain to anybody how it works. So the first box there is you got eBay and Etsy platform. They're connected across multiple data centers and stuff like that. They're not in the same one. That's why it's got the dotted line there. They're 2 separate companies, 2 separate platforms, 2 separate programs, applications, and stuff like that. They're not shared. But I just put them in a box to make it easier. When someone buys a postcard from either eBay or Etsy, it goes to the post office. The post office then sends data to eBay or Etsy in some way, format, a file, web services, some integration is going to go up and going to come down. Either eBay and Etsy picks it up or directly goes into those platforms if they have shared access. So that's your scans. When it hits the post office, it goes back and forth into the tracking on eBay and Etsy. If everything is successful with the delivery, then you got a happy customer, like at the end here. Even though the scans are not happening, most of the time the customer gets the card and they're happy. So that's how it works. Pretty straightforward. A lot of moving pieces. I still, after this year, tend to side that eBay is getting the information, they're just not displaying it correctly. That's my theory for right now. I just can't see all the multiple distribution centers in the post office world having the same issues all the time. The same machine having the same issue here, and they're not working. It's just, I don't know, it's too inconsistent from my knowledge of the technical world. I think it's getting into eBay or whatever, they're not parsing the information correctly and putting it up on the website. So I think the information in the back end of eBay is always correct. It's just what they show us sometimes. There are different teams. There's database teams, and stuff like that going in. There's middleware that sends it over, and then there's the web team that grabs the information, puts it up. So if the database people make a change and the web people are behind or not told about that change, it can affect different things. A lot of moving parts in the technical world. Got to test everything. But let's go through the numbers. eBay standard envelope for December. Remember, I go through 100 random mailings, and I made sure I checked beginning of the month, middle of the month, end of the month. I just randomly go through and pull out 100 mailings, and I check for 4 scans. And this is the chart. Notice here I do the state. That's the destination state, just in case there's something going on with a state or something. So I always put that into my chart. Next column is label. That's my control. I create the label. I put it on the envelope. I know that's 100%, 100 out of 100. So I know I got 100. Next one is when I put it in the mailbox or bring it to the post office. That night, it goes to the first hop in the post office world, distribution center. It's the only place that can scan these envelopes. You cannot give these to a carrier or bring it to the post office and have them scan it in. They can't do it. Only the distribution center high-speed machine sorting machines can do it. eBay standard envelope does not require an acceptance scan like packages, because they can't do it. It waits till that night. You just have to get a scan somewhere in the route. Then it meets that metric that you scan, uploaded tracking. Doesn't require an acceptance scan. It's not going to happen. Next one is destination. Somewhere in there, in transit destination, the customer should see and you should see that it's moving. Then it gets to out for delivery. Now I put delivery on the chart to save space. Out for delivery. Doesn't mean it's out. It might be at the distribution center before it hits the last one, and then it says out for delivery. Or it says delivered, all important delivered scan. Even though with packages, when they post carrier drops it at your front door, they scan it, deliver it. eBay standard envelope, they can't scan it, so it happens at the distribution center. The sorting machine does it. It could be 1 to 3 days more to get that to the house. And that's what that video is about. Where's my postcard? How I deal with that. I usually send them a standard comment that I have about eBay standard envelope, and that calms the people down. A lot of people don't know about it. And you'll see here in a minute, I call them requests. It shows delivered, but I don't have it. And how many did I get? So all of those is thing, and then on the end is average of days it takes from the time I created a label to the time it hit the destination. It says delivered in the scan. I always add 1 day to it. I can add 3, 4. I just did 1 day throughout the thing. You can add whatever you want, you think you should. But this gives you an idea of the average days from the time I created a label to the time it hit the destination person in their mailbox. Let's go down to the bottom. We'll look through the things real quick. This month they were all over 90%. First time in a long time. On the label, 100 out of 100. I created a label. There's 100 labels and mailings. Origin scan, the first stop in the route, they missed 4, 96%. Not too bad. So still should be 100%, but over 90, 96. Next one, they missed 10. Only got 90% on destination. Somewhere in the route, they said it didn't get a scan, or eBay didn't put the information. Then out for delivered, 93%. So they missed 7. Still above 90. And the all-important delivered scan, they missed 7. So the last two, they both missed 7, 93%. Not too bad. And then 5 days were the average for the post office during December. Very good this year. And the highest one I see on there is 8 for Arkansas. And Arkansas is not far from my distribution, not far from me. I mean, it's from the Champaign, Illinois to Arkansas. You can get there in a day's drive. So it's interesting how some things take a route differently. Then we used to have no scans. When there's no scans, you put it in the mailbox, eBay standard on, there's no scanning or whatever, but it still makes it. I had one of those this month, which is way down. I wasn't getting a lot of those, but in the last 3 or 4 months I was getting more. Then requests saying, hey, it says delivered, but I don't have my postcard. Didn't happen this month. I haven't got any requests. Those are way down to what they were when they first began. Claims. I didn't send any claims. I got 2, or I sent 1 claim to send. I sent in 4 this year. I got 1 to go, 5, and I had 2 other refunds that I caused it. I sent the wrong card to people. So I had 7 refunds this year, is what I counted up for the end of the year. 4 of them were claims that I put in, or a refund because they didn't received a postcard. It's probably not eBay standard envelope, just didn't make it. It probably ended up making it. So I refunded the customer in 30 to 90 days. I put the claim in, got my money within 48 hours in my PayPal, so I'm whole on those. I got one more to put in this month. That'll be 5. So everything I refunded, 100% I'll get it back. Then the other 2 refunds, I don't know what I was doing that day, but I sent the wrong card to one person, and always its partner comes back so I sent the wrong card. So I had to refund those 2 people. That's it. That's all the refunds I did this year. 7. What is it? Less than 1 a month. I don't even think of refunds as that big of a part of my business. So it's just a transaction, reverse transaction. Not that big of a deal for me. Do I do anything different than anybody else? Nope, just an average seller. Put it in the mailbox, let it go. I don't worry about it. But that's where it falls on the chart here. And there is some red. The red that's on that chart shows if I created 10 labels and any number across in the scans are less than 10, I put a red, I mark it red. So the red is still there, but not as bad as it was last month. But let's look at the year to date. How did they do the report card, the graph for the year for eBay? Standard envelope scans. If you notice, starting in January, February, then they took a dip in April on the origin scan. My origin center, I don't know if it's them or it's eBay, but it just seems worse. And then they kind of went in June, and everything kind of took a dive. The origin went down, then the destination, and then so it's right on the line of 90%, 80%, right around there. And this month they brought them all above that line. So hopefully it's a trend. But they've stayed right up there. So I would say the trend is 85 to 90. They need to get that up to 90 to 95 next year, and then move it to 100 after that. There's really no reason why someone has to go. These are clear labels, machine reading, sending information to another machine, populating on a website. What's the breakdown? Just because you're a big company doesn't mean you can't make something like this work. It's a small thing that makes a big impact. That's the graph for the whole year. That one big dip in April, I don't know what was going on, but it didn't, that's not a trend. It only happened 1 month. This is kind of a side trend. Not an uptrend or downtrend. Everything's kind of side. Is on their origin, I think needs a lot of help, and destination. The other ones are more side trend. How did the post office do? Not bad this year. Had a little bump in March, went up to 6, but the rest of the year, average days was 5 across the board. It's just a key indicator. I'm not tracking each individual thing I've ever sent out. I'm just looking to say, hey, if this went up to 10 days average in December, I definitely know I was going to refund some people probably. But this has been 5 days. So when I put something in a mailbox or bring it to the post office, on average, it makes it in 5 days. And that's adding a day to it too. I'm comfortable with that this year. I'm going to keep tracking this in 2024 because I like how they're coming back up. I think it's important to me, and I want to. So I do it for myself, and I'll share it monthly with the videos like I do here. It's not that hard for me to put together. It's just going through and getting 100 of them, putting them in there. But I break it down in small pieces, so I'll make sure I spread it out. But remember about eBay's standard envelope insurance. If it's lost or damaged, and it's $20 below, and the whole order is under $50, $50 or below, you can get your money back for lost or damaged postcards. In this video here, I explain that. Everything I refunded in 2023, I have gotten back. I haven't sent the other claim in, but I never had a problem with claims. So I'm gonna be 5 for 5. The other 2 I'm not even worried about. That's my problem. Can't fix me, but 5 for 5. So if I refunded $5 for $25, I got $25 back. Can't get that with everything. You send something in an envelope in the mail with a stamp, you don't get it. Ground Advantage has insurance, but you got to deal with the post office. This is an email and capturing a few things on eBay, fill out a form, send it in, and you got it in 48 hours. That's how simple it is. So I'm never worried about refunding an eBay standard envelope lost or damaged thing. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you can get updated when I put these out every month and see my other videos I have out there about postcards. And in 2024, I got a whole schedule set up and ready to go. Thanks for watching. Here's some more fish. Bye.